Hi everyone, let's talk about Switch and Signal, which I just finished a full playthrough for. You can see that linked in the description if you haven't seen it yet. This is just me talking about it. If you'd like to see the actual game in action, you can see the game. I went on the other side so you could see the board. Thinking about it now, I should have just moved the board to the other side of the table. That's not what this video is about though. So yeah, I was excited for this. Came out around Digital Lesson last year. Didn't manage to get hold of a copy, but now here we are a few months later, and I absolutely love this game. I think it is such a fantastic, smooth, pure co-op. Yeah, the actual system for it is really, really simple. Draw a card, do the things on it at the start of your turn. Now you have your 5 or more action cards. Do what you will with them. And you have this maze of train tracks where you are inevitably going to have things running into each other, running into paths where they can't quite get, because you have some say over the stuff. You don't quite know what's going to be put on the cards, but you can consider on your turn what are the risks, what might move. If black trains move on the next card, are we okay? Are they about to hit a signal and we're going to lose a load of time in it? Also, if you did see the playthrough, I've never had it go so smoothly. So I hope that I'm still being representative of the game. That it is a challenge, and you can, as I said in the playthrough, you can add loads of variant things on to make it a bit tougher for yourself as well. So yeah, just from this basic thing, I love the idea as well that it was I've played a few train games, not all that are out there, of course, and haven't delved anything into the crazy 18xx kind of world. But from my, Imperial Railways of the World, Russian Railroads kind of thing, I was really excited by the prospect of a co-op one as well. And yeah, it just works fantastically that we all have eyes on this network. We're all trying to predict what's going to want to come through, to not lose too much time and not have the trains crash into each other and leave the board, potentially with a cube on it. That could be a real setback, really crushing. I'll say as well that it seems really tight in the like for all the smoothness of the playthrough didn't seem to throw that many hurdles in that lost me too much time. That might be because I'm great at planning, but also got very lucky. I'll say that, it only got done with a few turns to spare. As soon as that deck runs out, that's it. And that is kind of the driving factor of these time tokens. As soon as you start losing, every space a train can't move, you lose time tokens. If it can't go into, if it's about to head-on collide, every movement that's wasted, you lose 2 time tokens for, and the train that's moving and would have collided is taken off the board. If you need to put a train out and there's already a train on that space, you lose 2 time. So there's loads of ways that you can end up being forced to lose your instruction cards and essentially lose the game by losing entire turns because of that. I really love that you can store up your action cards as well. You have the freedom, not just you're influenced a little bit by the cards that you've drawn, that maybe I've drawn loads of signal cards, or I've drawn loads of movement cards here, so maybe I want to get a load of trains moving. But is that going to make it tougher when the card comes out and tells all of the trains of that colour to move again? Have you now put them in a position where it's that they're just going to crash into a load of things? But as well as, being driven a little bit by the cards in your hand, the situation dictates what you need to do as well, of course. And you can always use 2 cards as anything you like, so you've at least got 5 cards in your hand on your turn, so you can at least do 2 actions, whatever you like. And if you've got the right cards, up to 5 actions, of course. But yeah, you've always got that flexibility, so there's always that element of randomness. You don't quite know how far the trains are going to move, but you know what's on the dice. You know their potential to move. You can see, that a load of the fast trains have stacked up behind a load of grey trains, and that's just going to be a disaster. Do you now need to spend loads of cards to try and get those grey trains moving? Do you just divert the grey train onto a different track instead while the grey train moves past them? I think it all works so smoothly. I think this is, as I said, it's really easy to explain, especially in its basic form. Just having the die says how far these trains are going to move. The dice say where the trains are going to come out. Having said all that, it comes with, I haven't got the box in front of me now, but it comes with tokens for all of these places, so you can randomize where the numbers are, because as it is on the map, it's 6, 7, 8 are the most likely on 2 dice, so they're going to be the most likely places that trains come out. Having said that, this game started with, I think, all of these locations full of trains, because you start with 3 out there. So yeah, you can randomize where they're all going to go. That will change things up. You can also play a game that takes out these dice, where you just have a stack of the tokens of all of the locations, and you draw from the stack every time a train comes out to see where they're going to go instead. So much less chance of colliding and more chance of... So yeah, it's a little bit easier in that way, because you know that you're not going to lose time from trains colliding, and you may be a bit more free to leave them on their starting line for a bit. But in another way, it can make the game a bit more complex, because these unlikely spaces, like it's covered up by the box here, but these the 2 and the 3 and stuff down here, I don't know that we've rolled a 2 and a 3 and had trains come from down here. Obviously, you could, just the luck of the dice would be in control of that, but it means that if trains never come out from these places on the board, you never have to worry about their switches. There's always plenty to worry about over the rest of the board, but playing with that variant takes some luck out in some way with these dice, but also makes it so that trains are going to come from everywhere eventually, and you are going to have to flick all these switches and signals and stuff to make stuff happen all over the place. There is a whole nother side of the board that's a bit more complex. It's got... Shall I shift everything off the board now? Here's cleanup happening right in front of it. There is another side of the board. I didn't want to do it for the playthrough because I wanted to have it all set up nice for this, but there we go. You can play in America instead. Same basic thing, same maze of tracks, cities that have the cubes in them, all of that stuff. But now there are 2 port cities that each want one of the cubes. So it's not as simple as having a nice, destination track for everything to run down to get to Marseille on the Europe track. You now have to work out how to get them to both of these, as well as getting them into the cities in the first place. And there are a load of new helper powers, which I can't remember as well. I think it's you can ignore an entire instruction card. You can ignore a train moving instruction. And is that you decide where the train goes? I haven't got the translation right up in front of me yet. And haven't even played with New York yet. I really hope that this has only come out in Germany yet. I hope it's done well in Germany, and I hope when it eventually gets a UK release that it's received well here too, and everywhere. Because I'd love to see more from this. I think this is a really exciting, elegant system that is something different in co-ops as well. I really like the simplicity of controlling the switches and the signals, which I keep saying the name of the game in that, but the simplicity of controlling this maze of tracks, and just how many interactions between the trains and what they're carrying and where they might crash into comes from just this base thing. I think it's absolutely wonderful, and hopefully you've seen the playthrough though, and decided for yourself whether or not you would be interested in playing the game. If not, I've done a whole video where I played through it, and hopefully that'll give you the best idea rather than my enamoured ramblings. Thank you very much for watching them though. I've done hundreds on this channel. If you'd like to see more, there'll be some links at the end of the screen at some point. I do live videos now a lot. Join me for some of those. Subscribe, like, do all of those things, and everything's funded by Patreon. I'm used to pointing at it on the live videos, but it's not on this video. Patreon.com/slickerdrips if you would like to help me keep going and give me the time to make all of this stuff. Thank you very much though, and I'll see you for the next game. Bye everyone.